Hello everyone, this is a roundtable discussion that is held by Hilltouch Foundation. This month of April we are creating nationwide awareness about reproductive health, and there are very many things that we are going to be addressing throughout the month. We look at reproductive health as every other thing that has the ability to affect one's well-being in as far as procreation and reproduction is concerned. And our discussion today, we are going to be handling something on health, promoting healthy relationships and consent. I have a very big panel here with me, and I'm going to request that our panelists introduce themselves just within 30 seconds, and then we see how to get running. I think I will start with my far extreme right.
My name is Antikunda Daniel. I'm a medical student at Busitema University.
Which year are you, Daniel?
Year 3.
I'm Mugabe Joshua, also a medical student at Busitema University, Mbale campus. I'm in my year 3.
Rita SJ, medical student, Busitema University, year 2.
Thank you very much. I'm Betty Nakauka. I'm a finalist, medicine and surgery from Busitema University. I'm an advocate for sexual and reproductive health rights, so it's an opportunity for me to be part of this.
I'm called Jonathan Babuya, a medical student also, third year at Busitema University, and at the same time also an advocate for sexual and reproductive health.
Thank you very much. I am Akampuri Arena, year 4, medical student, Busitema University. Also an advocate for sexual and reproductive health.
Just a few minutes that we have, we are going to be talking about promoting health relationships. Relationships and challenges associated with relationships contribute a lot when it comes to people's well-being. We have very many people who on a daily basis commit suicide. We have many people who run out of school. We have many homicidal cases. The other week, about 2 weeks ago I think, we lost someone from Mbale University, a girl, and she was found dead, and it's suspected she was killed because her hands were tied behind, and the evening before the incident she had an argument with a boyfriend, which same boyfriend went ahead to shoot a police officer in Mbale, a female police officer, and killed her. So he was arrested, and investigations, he also tried to hurt himself, but he didn't die, and investigations are underway trying to establish whether it's the same person who killed the student as well. So, and there are many other cases, and there is no age. People get, for as long as it's a relationship, people get issues, whether they are a young couple or have spent years in a relationship. There are even people who are apparently relationship counselors, but when you go and find out what's happening in their relationships, issues. So probably that's why it's been important for us to discuss such an issue. And then consent is something that we all know, but probably we shall try to dig into so that someone out there can also get to understand. Maybe we can first start by understanding, how would you understand a healthy relationship? Rita, how would you say you are not in? Have you ever been in a relationship? Have you ever been in a healthy relationship? What happened in that relationship that you could look at and say, no, mine was a healthy relationship? How would you understand a healthy relationship?
How I understand a healthy relationship is if the person is honest and we trust each other. Like if you tell me that this person did this, I'll be like, you know what, you're lying. I know my person. and that's not the kind of person they are. And a healthy relationship includes communication. Like, you sit down and you don't think of the other person superior, and like you discuss something and you come to an agreement of, you know, this has happened, I didn't like what you did. Not like you just draw conclusions, get angry, and, you know, just ignore the person out of the blue. That wouldn't be healthy. I think if you get a problem, if you get to know something maybe from outside there, you sit down with that person and you're like, you know what, I trust you, like, but what is this that I'm hearing? Not you drawing conclusions and ending up messing up the thing that you were building. And a healthy relationship, you need to have a partner that pushes you to your goal, not someone who degrades you. Like, for example, I'm a medical student. If I am in a relationship with someone who is not a medical student, and maybe they are doing a course that doesn't require a lot of time, and they actually require my time, they really want me to be there, you have to like have an understanding of each other, and the person has to understand that you're actually a medical student. You can't be there all the time, and has to push you to your goal. But if this person is not like, he knows you're a medical student but wants you there every time, wants you, like, you know, I'm studying in Mbale, what if it's a long distance relationship and the person wants you to travel to Kampala every weekend? That is draining me and it's not allowing me to achieve my goals. Because here at Busitema we have papers almost every 2 weeks and you're stressing me with something like that. So I wouldn't consider that a healthy relationship. And another thing about healthy relationships, if it is to end, it needs to end at good terms. I think we shall discuss more with the mental health as we move forward. Because if you like see this person, the things you discussed in the talking stage, things are changing. You don't just, some people, actually some guys, do things to push away the lady, or some partners do things to like push away the lady so that she breaks up with you because you don't have the courage to actually break up with her. But I think this all comes back to communication, and you sit down and you be like, you know what, this is not working, I want us to end on good terms. Not you starting to disrespect her, starting to mistreat her, that for you're tired, but you want her to be the one to break the relationship with because you're tired. So I think that is not healthy. And yeah, and for a healthy relationship, the talking stage is very important. People actually meet 1-2 days and they're like, you know what, we are dating. No, that doesn't work like that. Like Jonathan said, that people date people they don't know. You reach in the relationship, someone starts asking you for things that are not according to your principles, and you're like, this person is a bad guy. But actually, that's how the person was. You just didn't understand the person, and there is someone out there who can be with that person the way they are, but not you, because those are not your principles. So you need to discuss your principles with someone, and you be like, you know what, I'm not fine with this, I'm not fine with this, do you agree, and are you still willing to pursue the relationship? That's what I would think of a healthy relationship.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you very much. My take on a healthy relationship, I presume it is a relationship that wholesomely builds you. I know of a certain couple back at home in our neighborhood. This couple, they have been together, I think, for over 10 years, but they are always happy. Like, it is a relationship I would also want to like have. Yeah? They are a happy couple, and I think it comes back to, first of all, what she said, knowing the person you are dating or you are in a relationship with. Secondly, the person knowing what the other party wants and what they do not want. And talking, communication, this is something you see everywhere on social media. Communication is key, but it is very important in that you find a couple, once there is a like a gap in communication. I will give a scenario. When you find maybe you find me cheating, you are my girlfriend, I didn't, and I had told you I had gone to, let me say, I'm on ward, yeah, or I'm on table. You called me and I told you I'm on table. Like it will damage your mental health so much that I don't know what. I'm not a girl, but to me it takes me, like, it makes my mind to go in circles, yeah. So there are things that a healthy relationship should have. Something that will build you mentally, physically, emotionally, socially. You are in a relationship, but your partner has helped you maybe achieve a certain goal in life. Your partner has helped you grow. Your partner has helped you on top of having kids. Your partner has helped you maneuver through hard times, with this apparent inflation and the economic standing, and your partner is there for you. In relationships, often the men are considered the providers, and you might find a relationship where the lady is a little bit inconsiderate, yeah? And yet the times are harsh, but you might also find a man who is lying about the economic standing. So it all comes back to that relationship that builds you wholesomely.
We talked about economic standings, and the question dropped in my mind. Would you comfortably disclose all your monthly financial earnings to your to your partner?
Personally, I would. Why? Because okay, it depends. If I'm in a relationship with someone and we are actually staying together, meaning we have to foot the bills together, we should work hand in hand, and my status as a student, I don't have a constant flow of income. Actually, my flow of income relies on a phone call to a man who can tell you that today I'm not going to give you. I'm not saying that is what he says, but he can say that. So when you are staying together, you have to disclose, because it helps you plan together. It helps you also. It shows her that you are actually willing to. You are not letting the money to differentiate you. Yeah. Yes.
Thank you so much. To the lady, I'll ask the lady. Assuming you are in a relationship with someone and you're both at campus, would you expect him to provide for you in any way?
In any way? Not really. Maybe it's according to their financial standing. Because if they're just depending, like he has said, he calls someone, I also call someone, then like why would he like have the responsibility of providing for like my needs?
yet he's also depending on someone. I don't think it's fair to that person. You can't expect them just because they are your partner. You can't expect them to like provide for everything. It's not their responsibility. Yeah.
But you don't mind when one evening he takes you out and
I wouldn't mind that. You can do that. Yeah.
thank you so much. Have you ever taken your boyfriend out?
Yeah.
And you know there are different ways of taking someone out. You could suggest and tell him, you know what, I think let's go out, and then at the time of clearing the bill, I mean the man who brought it up, did you actually put the bill?
We as women have, okay, not we as women, but women these days have this idea that the guy should give me everything. However, I believe that once in a while I can spoil my man. If it then need us to go to a fancy hotel, but I can gift him. Okay, I can gift him. I'm paying for it. Okay, I can buy you something. It didn't have to be big or something, but yeah, I believe I could. I do. I can. I do.
Yeah, that's interesting. Should there be something? How do you understand consent as consent? Probably not in the context of relationship. What is consent, Jonathan?
Thank you so much. According to me, I think consent is more than like approval or agreement to do something. Okay? Because you look at consent in terms of we need you to do this. That is also consent. But I want to go to a certain place. Do you allow me? That's also consent. So I think the ability to negotiate that is very important in a relationship, because you should be able, as people in a relationship, to deal with both consent and not consenting. For example, if you want maybe to have, let's say, sex with your partner and they don't consent, or they don't consent to intimacy, if you really love them, you should be okay with that. So I think consent is one key thing in decision making in a relationship. You should be okay with both consenting and not consenting. When someone doesn't consent, it doesn't mean that they become bad or it changes who they are. It just means that they were not able to agree with what you are suggesting. Yeah.
Okay. And that's very, very key. Betty, assuming you have your man is not circumcised and you've been happily married to him, and then one morning he wakes up with an idea of wanting to get circumcised, would you want him to first tell you and ask if he should go ahead and get circumcised before he does?
To begin with, personally, I wouldn't go with someone who's not circumcised. That's the first thing I would ask for before we go ahead with anything. Him asking permission to go for circumcision, I would think we should talk about it. I would maybe love it when it's uncircumcised. And I wake up another day and the guy is circumcised and I'm like, where did you? So it's supposed to come to an understanding. You're like, you know what, Betty, I'm thinking of going to have circumcision done for these reasons, and we agree about it. That's what I would say.
Okay. That's very key. We've heard of cases where people say a man raped his wife.
It's possible.
For a man to rape his wife.